Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So here we have another issue, which is part and parcel of the whole confusion of gender and sexuality, is if it's private, then that must be bad. And if it's good, it has to be public. Right? So we spoke about that in the first lesson. Gender and sexuality is private. That doesn't make it bad. And just because it's good, it doesn't have to be public. So there's this whole issue is that we have to get women into the public. Women have to be seen. Otherwise, we're saying that they're bad and they're inferior. So the Western power woman, she's public. She's financially independent. In general, she's independent. She has power. She shares her body visually with all. Everybody can see her. Everybody is attracted to her. Everybody wants her. That's part of her power. She gives her body at will. She's not bound by a marriage. Maybe if she's married, she's not. And she withholds her body at will. So, contrary to the Islamic paradigm, this is her power. The fact that she can give to whoever she wants without any limitations, and that she can withhold without any limitations, and that she is wanted. She is look but don't touch thing. This is part of the power of the Western power woman. And Muslim women follow the same suit, right? They will try and make a halal version. So I need to be as public as possible, financially independent as possible, have as much power as possible, share myself visibly as much as possible, as long as it's possibly halal, and everything else is kind of a bit different. So in Islam, obviously, we said she doesn't share her body visibly visibly with all, right? So therefore, in Islam, no, you don't want to be. You want to be seen as few people as possible. You don't want to be seen as a Muslim woman, right? That doesn't mean you don't have power. That just means I don't want to be seen, right? It gives her body at will. No, that is the fajira. That's a gross kind of woman. Withholds her body at will. She has the right to say no to her husband whenever she wants? No, because she's agreed to a sacred pact and she respects that relationship and understands what it means and puts it in a spiritual context. And she says, yes, I have agreed to give my body to my husband as long as I'm not going to be harmed, right? So Islamically, is it okay though for a woman to be financially independent? 100%. She can be earning much more than her husband, not a problem, right? But she's also not public. So she can be known, but she's not out there in the front of everybody, right? She doesn't want that to be the case. So she can have power, not a problem. She can have financial independence, not a problem. But that is not through her being public, right? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, and settle in your homes and do not display yourselves as women did in the days of pre-Islamic ignorance. So this is the general command to the Muslim woman, to be at home. Don't be seen. You need to work? Okay, I need to go in the office. I have a meeting. Go in, come out as much as possible. I don't have a choice. I have to do a 9 to 5. Okay. But there's this continual gravity towards being unseen, to be private, to not be noticed. She always wants to shy away. That is the Muslim woman. In Tirmidhi and others, the Prophet ﷺ said the woman is a awra. She is concealed, or she is vulnerable to be exposed. She wants to cover herself up. So when she goes out, the devil accompanies her and says, hey, look at her. And so, again, as we mentioned before, this hadith doesn't mean women are bad. But what it means is, A, women by default are a source of fitna for men, and vice versa. And B, she tries to conceal herself as much as possible. She doesn't want that to be the case. I have to go and do these things. What am I supposed to do? I'm sorry, I'm giving a presentation in front of people and people find me attractive. Despite the way I'm dressed and despite everything, what am I supposed to do? We're not trying to say women are to blame for being found attractive. I'm not trying to say that. But she's saying she knows that, and she's like, I don't want that. I don't want to be seen and noticed by lots of people. I want to be hidden as much as possible. One of the Sahabiyat said, Ya Rasulullah, I love praying with you. I love coming to the masjid in Medina, which the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to do, and I love praying with you, O Messenger of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, I know that you love or like to pray with me, but praying in your room is better for you than praying in your quarters, i.e., the more private you can be, the better. In fact, praying in your quarters is better for you than praying in your house. The word dar is used. I put a little question mark here because dar means kind of like, so bait is like room, and then dar is like the extended building that you and your extended family might live in. That's good, you dar. So too, praying in your house is better than praying in your village mosque, right? So if you have a choice, which is the best, going to your village mosque or praying at home? Praying at home for a woman. And praying in your village mosque is better for you than praying in my mosque. So you actually have more reward. So the materialist says, I need to be out there. He was out there, I need to be out there. I need to compete with the man. No, you don't. Allah loves that you be as private as possible and as unnoticed as possible. That is something that is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, tell the believing women to lower their gaze and guard their chastity and do not reveal their adornments. So the hijab is not just cover this and cover that. It's a whole way of living, which is I'm physically and emotionally inaccessible to men. Right? As opposed to, hi everybody, loud, out there, noticeable by everybody. This is not Islamic. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the believing men about the reward in paradise, that they will have maidens with gorgeous eyes, reserved, restricted, and pavilions. So the restrictive nature of women, this is a key evolutionary, sociological, sexual reality of a woman, is the fact that she's accessible to all means that she's worthless. The fact that she's restricted to you only means that she's precious and important. Right? So in Islam, public, no. Financial, yes. Financially independent, yes. Power, yes. Shares her body with everybody, no. As invisible as possible, right? Like cousin it, right? Gives her body at will, no. Withholds her body at will, no. She's submissive to her husband, right? And so in Islam, no. The beauty of a woman is her concealment and inaccessibility, right? An inaccessibility. She's only accessible to you, the male, her husband, that's it. And so the teenager, the primitive Western values were, your value is how much you're seen and noticed, right? So if I can be seen and noticed, right, in a primitive and teenager Western value, that's good. The fact that I make the whole class laugh, the fact that everybody notices me, the fact that I'm the manager, the fact that I'm seen by everybody, that's my value, that's good. Immature Western values are the following, right? It's good that you're noticed by everybody and everybody notices you on Instagram and your body's seen by everybody. Why? Because, sister, you're marketable. We can make money out of you. But we don't actually value you. It means we're using you. That's what it means. So get out there, move your body in front of everybody, be noticed, be loud and proud and everything, because we can make money out of you, right? But we don't actually value you. So these are mature Western values. Is you were great on stage, you were great as a teen, as a teen date. That's where it ended, when you were seen and noticed. Now when we're talking actual marriageability value, right? Private is the case. Right? Private is the case. So the fact that you're accessible to all means you are interesting. Yes, you're going to get hits on, people are going to watch you, people are interested, right? But that's where it'll end. Your actual value then, so this is again the systemic abuse of women, is encourage them to devalue themselves, and then the long term is worthless, right? It's like a soldier, right? We want you to go in and give your life and health to the army, and you come out and you have all sorts of problems. We don't really care because you served your time and you saved the country. Thank you very much. Goodbye. The same thing with the female. Go out there, make money for people, Use your body, use your this, use your that. When you stop making money with your body, we can maybe to put drama in there. But now when it comes to a valued individual, like we value you, you are the mother, you are the wife, you're this, we don't actually care about you, right? So this is a movement in the West among certain circles that you see like this person's not really worth anything. You're not marriageable. So you have self-deprecated yourself and taken away your value, and now you feel nothing. So now what you're going to find is these women will then desperately trying to do things that are shameful just to try and get themselves remarketable, because at once that kind of behavior made them useful, but now they're nothing. And so Islam, as a mercy and a kindness, says, sister, I want your long-term value. Right? You may get some attention here and there at a certain time in your life through doing shameful things. But the more private you are, the more beloved you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you are beloved, more attractive you are to a man of fitrah, and the more marriageable you are across the world. And so your value then as a woman is what is valued by Allah. Right? And female privacy is valued by Allah. Being private as possible, this is very important. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.